this morning. I went on I was on Dana Wilkie's show last night. We reviewed the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and so I didn't get to put up a review on my own channel. So I thought it would be a great time just to hop on a live and just talk a couple of minutes about what we are seeing coming out of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, what we thought of last night's episode, and just kind of chat. So it was definitely an unexpected live, and I don't think I'll probably get a whole lot of people this morning, only because it is the morning. It's so early and it was so unexpected. I'm trying to get my lighting right here for you guys. It's a little better. See if I can. Good morning. And of course, everything in this video is going to be alleged. Last night, we had a lot to talk about last night. Again, if you watched Dana Wilkie's live last night, we chatted after the show. So some of the tea I'm going to tell you again this morning in case you didn't see her live. And also a disclaimer, if you haven't watched last night's episode, then obviously this video probably isn't for you. You should wait until you watch the episode. Is there anything that you guys particularly want to start with? Hey, Freddie. Freddie's all the way in London, and he's ready to talk New Jersey, okay? First of all, Freddie, Danielle allegedly wore this outfit, right? That Marge said it looked like she pulled it out of the dirty hamper. And that's why Danielle didn't invite her to the mozzarella party, allegedly. We are now, I'm hearing that the outfit that Danielle was wearing, that Jackie was making fun of, was actually purchased at Melissa's store, Envy, okay? So, uncomfortable, right? It was Jackie, not Marge. Hi, Lee, good morning. We talked also about Jennifer and Melissa's lunch together, and I wanted to know what you guys thought about it. A little bit of Jackie was a snob about Danielle's outfit. She was a snob about Danielle's outfit. I thought so too. But the outfit came from Envy, which is what is so funny because, Danielle has her bougie kids line, and so we saw a couple of episodes ago she actually went to Melissa's store and to help order an inventory for the winter. Lee is actually in the UK too. Freddie's in the UK, you're in the UK. That's crazy. So much, again, we have to remember that Jennifer would have allegedly already had the sit down with Marge's ex-best friend, Laura Lee Jensen, when she sat down with Melissa at lunch. And Dana and I pretty much came up with the agreement that we both agree that more than likely Jennifer went there to tell Melissa about the rumor that Laura Lee Jensen told her and Teresa. But for whatever reason, she chickened out. I wouldn't even say she just chose not to. Maybe she actually has a moral compass and she was empathetic considering what her and her family went through last season. So she didn't want to turn around and do that to somebody else. But in that being said, a couple of really important things happened at this lunch. One, she tells Melissa, I don't think that Marge is as good a friend to you as you think that she is. Doesn't she tell you to leave Joe for baseball players? Which I had not heard that. I hadn't heard specific to the baseball players, but I think that might have been where Jennifer was going to actually say the rumor, but instead she went a little bit lighter. And Melissa doesn't deny, I think she's so caught off guard. She does say that she's told Joe that before. But it's interesting to me that Marge, if she's building her friend up, hey, whatever, Joe sucks, you need a baseball player, cool, right? However, that's who Melissa was allegedly hanging out all the time with when she was hooking up with this other guy, right? So let's call him N. We can call him Nate, okay? Nate is the guy who Melissa was allegedly hooking up with. And Nate's bestest childhood friend was Tom, who is Margaret's publicist. So if you have a friend who isn't against cheating, I'm not saying that Marge is a terrible person because her and Joe had an affair, but I do think that they had an affair for a significant amount of time before they told their significant others and they got divorced. I want to say 2 years. So 2 years, Melissa and Marge are, or I'm sorry, Marge and Joe are having a hot, scandalous affair under the nose of their spouses. Marge was on the morning show. She knows what she's doing. Yeah. So, in my opinion, I feel like if Melissa hypothetically were going to cheat on Joe and she couldn't tell anyone, right? Because all of their friends are mutual couple friends. Look at all of Joe and Melissa's friends. All of Joe and Melissa's friends are couples, and they all, like, they don't just really have a lot of single people friends. It's usually couples. So Melissa's not going to have anyone to confide in about her and Nate's whole interaction, but she can confide in Marge because Marge has been in the situation before. So therefore, Marge is going to be able to help give her advice, help her navigate the situation, help her, not get caught, basically. I mean, if you can have an affair for 2 years with the plumber, neither one of you guys get caught, you got to be good at it a little bit. I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, so Marge is a professional homewrecker. Okay, well, maybe that's what I was saying without saying it, but okay, Lee, yes, Marge, professional homewrecker, sure, that works. That term works too. So that made me think for sure that all of these rumors and this whole, they were going out in New York City, that was the rumor. The rumors were that Melissa was doing press with Margaret downtown New York City, out and about, drinking it up, living it up. You're downtown New York City. If you go do press afterwards, you're going to go have drinks, you're going to go out, you're going to go out to dinner, yada, yada, yada. And allegedly this is what was happening, with Marge's publicist, Tom, Melissa, and Nate. Now, there were also rumors and sources saying that even glam people, hair and makeup people were instructed not to take phone calls from Joe Gorga. And this, again, makes me feel like it feels like Margaret to me, because she probably gave Melissa a lot of the, your boss woman, Joe's living in the 1900s. He wants you barefoot. I mean, I don't know. That's just me as I would perceive, in my opinion. I think that Margaret likely speaks about Joe Gorga behind his back to Melissa privately when it's just the two of them. She's definitely team Melissa, and I think that she thinks Melissa's been controlled, their whole relationship, and I don't think that's the case, but I just think that Margaret would have been a supporting friend to Melissa had she hypothetically been having extracurricular activities, right? It makes sense. She is maybe an expert in it. She did do it for a long time and didn't get caught, right? So that says something. And then we also, I didn't think there was a whole lot that went down on this episode, if you ask me. Rachel Fuda is growing on me. Lee says, makes complete sense. Thank you. She's growing on me because I don't know, I just feel like she is being authentic, and I like that. Danielle is very beautiful. She's very pretty. She's very well spoken. She's a beautiful family. And some of it is really, really cute. I mean, I like it. But then at the same time, I'm like, is she a drill sergeant to her kids? Because if you guys remember, they did a red carpet event and she was posting it Sorry, Freddie said Rachel is a liar. Kim D exposed it. I'm not caught up with Kim D and from this week. I didn't know. Oh, yes, she was a liar about coming on the show. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, you're right, Freddie. That's right. She said that she wasn't a fan of the show. She only watched it a little bit, but then we found out she actually had a whole fan page account, maybe. Danielle seems to really be, though. I thought we were going to see Danielle come in like Team Teresa 100. And we haven't really seen that, though, you know? Like, seems like she really wants people to like her. She wants to be in amongst these women. Freddie brought up the point that, yes, allegedly Rachel also made the husband change the last name to Fuda. The family business is Fuda, but it's on his mom's side, so he had his dad's last name, and Rachel said, I want to be a famous housewife, honey, so you need to go change your last name. We're going to change everyone's name to Fuda so that everyone knows who we are. Who the F we are, I guess. Yeah. So also, did you guys know, I told you guys, I said this on Dana Wilkie's show, not only was Danielle on the MTV show, I Want to Be a Famous Actress, and then she was on the Britney Spears, who is Britney Spears' biggest fan, and she won that contest. I posted that on my Instagram. Her and Nate, her husband, were actually also on HGTV, and they, I think, did HGTV right after they got married is what I'm thinking. They got married, bought their house, and then I think they did like a 6-week, it was a series. It wasn't just one episode. They literally, I think, redid the entire house. And I think that's why whenever Danielle was hosting her party, if you guys heard her in her confessional, she's like, if somebody calls my house cute, I'm going to be so upset if somebody says my house is so cute. And Dolores came in. And she was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Lee says, that's why I feel like the show is staged as Marge is an actress. Their house is nice on the inside. It's really nice house. I thought it was a nice house. And now it makes sense. Like, they had it all remodeled by HGTV. So they probably had the best, designers. Danielle's house is the cheapest and smallest out of all of them. But it's really cute. About that, guys. Sorry about my phone. I'm dealing with somebody smashed into my car, and it's been 3 weeks, and my daughter is riding in the back seat of it, and their insurance doesn't want to give me a rental car, but today they're giving me a rental car. So Reality Diamond said $650K. Okay, but did Rachel just build her house? Because her house looks a lot like Melissa's house, okay? And I also found a really old picture of Joe Gorga and Fuda from like 2015. I have to find it in my phone. I'll reshare it. But yeah, they all know each other. They have. I mean, they probably, like, Melissa and Rachel definitely never hung out. But the men, they know each other for certain. Hi, Barbara. I felt like Rachel's house looked a lot like Melissa's new house. A lot like Melissa's new house. So I guess you're right. Danielle's house probably is leased out of the ladies. Are you sure? Because what about Dolores's house? What does Dolores's house come in at? Danielle's house is $650K. Fuda built their house in Franklin. Oh, okay, they're in Franklin Lakes. She just built the house. I could tell by the landscape. Plus, she doesn't have a lot of furniture. Franklin Lane's property, you guys know, gosh, that's a pricey area up there. But I don't think that Dolores's house is like, it's not nice by any means, but she did remodel the entire thing, right? Because I thought basically they put a lot of their plans into David's house. And now Frank's getting to enjoy the luxury of David's house that Dolores designed and executed. So, okay, Freddie said her house is 1.5, so that makes sense. Oh, okay, well, I wonder where, Monica's, hey girl, I caught your live. Hey Freddie, I'm glad you're feeling better. Fuda frauds, just like the Gorgas. I read the Fudas don't pay their bills. Oh, good Lord. Polly's house is in Edgewater. It's worth a few mil. Really? I was thinking he was living in a condo. Because, you know, Dana did a deep dive on him. She said he's a plumber. Now, I said Dolores told us that he was like a high-end commercial electrician that worked in like high-rise buildings. Maybe that's where I got the idea of the condo at. But I am like almost for certain that Dolores told us that he like does commercial electrical jobs, like overseeing like big high rises. Dana's right, but he owns the plumbing business. Okay, so he owns the plumbing business but does commercial electrical inspection type city zoning type stuff. Okay, that makes sense. She made a really great point. You know, all the women went to Ireland, right? And Polly's like allegedly from Dublin. And like Dana said, don't you think that like there would be some sort of like articles like local Dublin man you know, dating real housewife, meaning to make appearances. You know, you might see a local Dublin man that's now on to living his American dream. I don't know, something. Just something. I would think. I mean, one time, there was this guy that was on The Bachelor. Yeah, he was on it wasn't The Bachelor. He was dating Paris Hilton. That's what it was. He was dating Paris Hilton. Really, seriously. He was from like basically the school I went to high school, but not the school I went to high school, but I knew tons and tons of people from that school. Dublin, Ireland, Barbara, is what Dana said. And that's why the ladies took the trip back to Ireland. When this man was dating Paris Hilton, it made the local newspapers. Like, when they got engaged, they weren't engaged for very long. But he, yeah, it made the papers all over. Because it was like a local man making it in Hollywood and, you know, running with the rich and famous, which Paris Hilton is obviously maybe more famous than Dolores. But I'm just saying that even Dana said, town notoriety. I'm going to ask my friend as she's married to an Irishman. Yes, Monica, thank you. She said, hello, first time visiting. I dislike Rachel. I don't like how she interacts with her stepson and speaks about his mother. Barbara says, thank you, Freddie. Dana and I talked about this too, because the stepson made the comment that there's like not even room for him in the car anymore. Like, he basically is going to be like tied to the roof rack or whatever, because they have the two girls now and all of the stuff. I don't know what their relationship is like. It seems like the dad and the son have a really, really great relationship. But I think that sometimes when people are like young parents, he probably was more like kind of like a friend, like the cool dad, you know what I mean? And so it would probably be hard for Rachel to come along and be like a stepmother with like stepmother boundaries, because I feel like the dynamic between the dad is a little bit teetering for whatever reason. I didn't hear anything about his mother. I did hear Rachel say that it was her story, that she was going to let her tell it. So I thought that was at least respectful, but I don't know if she said more privately behind the scenes or in the press or planted anything. You know, a lot of times the ladies will come on it and be completely whatever in the confessional, and then we hear something different. Rachel should be one and out. She brings nothing. Okay, guys are not feeling Rachel. Thank you for letting me know. I love your comments. Are you guys feeling Danielle? Anyway, I mean, do you guys feel like Danielle? She's your typical Jersey girl. Rachel Fuda raised Jaden. That's why Kim D mentioned. Okay, got you. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yes, Marge, Melissa, Rachel, Jackie, and Jen Fessler snoozing. Yeah, I don't know what to say about Jen Fessler. I mean, I want to say that she's like a little bit of comic relief in a way. Monica says, I'm not a Rachel Fuda fan, but I love Danielle. I think we love Danielle's high energy. Love Danielle, not Rachel so much. And you know, they're like friends. Like they were friends pre Real Housewives. I haven't seen enough of the new women to make a full decision about them. Me too, Freddie. I feel Danielle's nice. Danielle's nice. I'm waiting on an answer about Danielle. I have to check her out a little bit more. There's something about her that bothers me. Yeah, a little, I mean, I don't know. There's something that I maybe feel like there might be missing. I'm not sure that viewers aren't getting. Like, her husband's insecurity. So we already know right there, red effing flag. It's just like the whole, the same thing like the Jen Shaw was doing. Now when we hear something that pertains to like advertising, digital advertising, we think fraud. And in the situation where we know Teddy's husband sells security alarm systems that don't work, or only alert you if somebody's in your closet and after they've wiped out your whole house. Allegedly, you know, he had a house that he was renting and someone was literally murked in the driveway. So it's like, we have reviews from people about Edwin's business on Yelp that say, you know, he doesn't want to let their elderly parents out of their monthly subscription. Catherine said that Melissa looked very uncomfortable at her lunch with with Jennifer. Yes, she did. Thank you for pulling me back to the point that I was about to make. I think that Jennifer went there to tell her what the rumor was, and she didn't. She didn't want to do that. She didn't want to be responsible for all of that because she just went through that last season prior. However, bringing up the ball player, right? She says, Margaret tells you you deserve to be with a ball player. Jennifer was telling Melissa, without telling Melissa, we know everything. Margaret, she's telling her with her eyes, and out of her mouth, she's saying, Margaret's not a good friend to you. She's definitely not as good a friend to you as you think that she is. You know, she can't keep friendships. Look at Ziggy, look at Danielle, and look at the other lifetime long friend, right? And then she says, I heard Margaret tells you that you deserve to be with a baseball player. Can you imagine Melissa's heart during the lunch? Like, oh my effing God. Is she going to keep going past what Margaret says about I need a baseball player? That's why she was so nice to Jennifer. She was so nice to Jennifer because she had to get out of there. She had to get out of there. I agree. Jen was telling her, Melissa knows. They all know. Jennifer was telling Melissa without telling her, we all know. Margaret, Jennifer is telepathically saying, if you were wondering, because I'm sure when Margaret and Laura Lee Jensen fell out, don't you think that Melissa would have been a little bit concerned? Because think about it. If I have a best friend named Ashley who confides in me with all of her stuff, and then I also have a lifelong best friend named Nicole, it's possible that sometimes that when I speak to Nicole, I speak about Ashley's situations because she's my dear friend and I love her, and we, you know, discuss scenarios, and I respect my other friend's opinion, and sometimes different perspectives can open up, you know, I'm a problem solver, whatever. So Melissa had to wonder what Margaret had told Laura Lee Jensen about the whole debacle, right? And Margaret had to tell Melissa, don't worry, I didn't tell her anything. I never tell her nothing, right? So So this whole time, Melissa's pins and needles. She don't know if Laura Lee was told about the extracurricular activities. And she also doesn't know if she was told about them, is she going to come forward with them? Because let's not forget, Teresa got Laura an interview with Bravo after they met. Remember, she called producers, and Laura Lee interviewed for like a third time or something. I wonder if anyone leaked that to Melissa or Marge, right? Because that would be scary, wouldn't it? So Melissa was shitting her pants. She was shitting her pants, and Jennifer knew it. She knew it, and that's why Melissa hates Jennifer so bad that several months later at BravoCon, they're having a straight out domestic in the middle of a lobby of a fancy hotel that is hosting the entire Bravo community for BravoCon. I'm like, how did they, in my head, I'm like, how did they go from this lunch? Jennifer clearly was like, I'm excited. Like, she seemed genuinely like it would be nice to have a relationship with Melissa. That's what I got. I felt like it was genuine. And I just don't think that Melissa can do that back. I just don't think she's capable of it. I just don't. And she had to have been wondering what Laura Lee knew and what Laura Lee was going to say. She is calculated, naive when it comes to Marge. Absolutely. So, in that lunch, when Jennifer tells Melissa, hey, yo, we know Marge been telling you that you need to, like, ditch Joe and go find you a nice, sexy baseball player. She was telling Melissa without telling her, we know everything. And she sort of was giving her a head start, if you ask me. I'm going to be 100 with you. To me, she gave her a head start. She absolutely gave her a head start. But Melissa didn't know what to do. She was stuck. Because you want to know why? She can't get mad at Margaret. Because then it's going to corroborate everything. Because how's she going to explain that she's pissed at Margaret for spreading all this gossip, allegedly, extracurricular activities with this man who happens to be very sexy and who happens to run in the same circles? Monica says Marge is ruthless and doesn't give two F's about anyone, only the money. Melissa is guilty. I have to disagree. Both Melissa and Margaret are both the same. Kathy says, I love Jennifer. She's rough around the edges. I think Margaret, once LaGorga's gone, I do. I don't think that she wants them on the show. That's 2 paychecks, right? I'm just saying. Melissa knew what Jen was saying, and Margaret is panicking because Jen's meeting with all of her friends one by one. Correct. But Marge has these women so brainwashed, none of them will go against her. Just like when Jennifer said at the reunion that the rumor about Evan came from Margaret's house, if you will. Okay, did you guys know Margaret had this girl that worked for her for like 7 years? She was from Canada or something. I think she came here when she was real young. And I told you guys about the iHeartRadio Andy show. And I played you guys the clip in one of my last videos. Somebody calls in and they're talking about a photo of a screenshot of a thread of conversation between Lexi, Melissa, and Marge talking about the extracurricular activities, right? It got posted and deleted so quickly that no one seems to be able to produce this photo. Allegedly, there was like the pink wallpaper of Marge's office in the background. The person that took it, smart enough to make sure something to timestamp and corroborate the location of the photo. Do you know that Marge has now sent that girl that was like her assistant back to Canada all of a sudden? She worked with Marge for 7 years since she was like a young buck, a young lady, a young girl, whatever you want to say. She was from Canada. She was here working with Marge. And when this shit all happened, she got rid of her. And I think it's her that took the photo. And I think she probably posted it and then had to take it down and nobody got a screenshot of it. That's why Dolores is keeping Marge very close. I agree. But I don't see Dolores wanting to stay on the show. I don't know. Do you guys think that her and Polly will want to stay on the show? Barbara says the blonde. I think, well, no. So Lexi is the one that we see filming, right? Lexi's the assistant. She has like the British accent. Lexi was included in the thread of conversation with Melissa and Marge, okay? Because Lexi is around so much. She is like Marge's right-hand man. I think that they just generally assume anything Marge knows, Lexi knows, right? Lexi's never going to betray Marge, ever. I'm going to tell you guys why. One, I think they're business partners. Two, I think Marge is actually probably, Lexi is probably one of the only people that Marge is probably really decent to be honest. And she probably pays her well and brings her to events and gets a name out there. And then recently, her and Lexi weren't always in business together. Lexi was her assistant, right, guys? Remember, she did the book. And now they're business partners. Now, all of a sudden, Margie and Lexi are business partners. Yeah, they came out with this Celtic non-alcoholic beverage, and they were promoting it a couple of weeks ago. So I thought, wow, that's crazy that, you know, Lexi's been with Marge all these years, and they've never really done a business adventure like that. The other girl got fired and sent back to her home country of Canada, and Lexi got promoted. Probably. I'm just saying. But yeah, I definitely think that Melissa knew what Jennifer was saying. Lexi is slowly getting on the show, K Mama says. I don't think she's slowly getting on the show. Marge is bringing her on the show as much as she can to keep Lexi happy. Marge isn't rolling in the money all like that. She has a lot of cases against her, and Lexi has to have blind loyalty because she could probably bury Margaret. And so therefore, to compensate for what she can't pay her, she takes her to events and makes introductions and she posts and she does this and yada, 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 right? It's like the perks, the advantages of being friends with Margaret Josephs. And so she has to remind her, hey, Lexi, look at all these perks you get if you hang out with me. You don't want to mess with me. You don't want to betray me now. So I don't think we're going to see Lexi on the show. I think Margaret's bringing her in. Margaret doesn't have a lot of money, Barb. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have a lot of money. I think it's weird how she's always on with Marge. Marge is bringing her and trying to include her on purpose as part of a payment, I think. And now, since the audience didn't really buy her, because they tried to really bring her in like last year or the year before, and people in the comments like ate Lexi's shit up. They didn't want to see it. Last season, Lexi appeared on the show more than Teresa's friend Caroline. Yeah. But people didn't really dig it. They didn't really like Lexi from the comments that I saw. And so I feel like Marge knows that the audience doesn't really dig Lexi. That's not going to go anywhere. So now they started this seltzer business. Marg was on Watch What Happens Live last night, panicking. I saw. Yeah, I thought she was trying to push her on as a housewife. She was. She absolutely was. Marge brings her on for silence. What do you think? Lexi scream fake is the problem. Yeah, that's my opinion. And Melissa can't be mad at Margaret because then it corroborates the entire story. So that's where everything gets really murky. And then you guys also have to remember, like Dana said, it's very possible that Margaret's friend filmed this sit down with Teresa and with Teresa and Jennifer. But maybe Bravo couldn't get the right consent form signed, something with a contract, whatever it was. It doesn't mean that it couldn't have been filmed. It just means that maybe Bravo didn't get everything it needed to air something like that. And then on top of it, the women wouldn't have known that necessarily. Hypothetically, Jennifer tells Melissa, me and your sister-in-law met with Margaret's, ex-best friend. They're probably going to think it's being filmed. If Bravo had filmed it, they would have aired it. Dana explained it this way. I'm not sure. This is how she said that basically, when they're not a contracted housewife, and they do like these sit-ins and such, they have to, of course, have proper contracts, and maybe they didn't want to pay her, and because they didn't want to pay her, she didn't sign off on them to air it. I don't know. That's just what Dana said. She just said it's possible because why else wouldn't Bravo have brought her on? Why wouldn't they have at least brought her on to film one scene, and it wouldn't even have to be with Marge. It would just be her. She could film a little confessional by herself. Ask her some questions. For the producer, ask her some questions. I mean, I just, it doesn't make any sense to me any other way. She wants to be on the show. She's interviewed 3 times for it. So why can't we see her telling this to the ladies? Unless if they just had no other use for her except wanted to bring her in, have her tell the ladies the story, and then bounce. Catherine, Bravo protecting Melissa. That's probably it. That's actually a great point. I forgot about that. Usually the sign-off or release is signed before filming, right, Freddie? Well, Monica, Dana was actually on Beverly Hills, The Housewives. And so because it's different production, it can be different. It's just like how some of the ladies, like Lisa Rinna was in a 5-year contract, but the other ladies were in a 2-year contract. And then when the ladies came to New Jersey, they didn't even know if they were going to be full-time or part-time or friends of or whatever until after they filmed the entire season. So there's no way that their contract was signed, sealed, and delivered because they didn't know they didn't even know if they were going to be full-time or if they were going to be friends of yet. He said, I done the show and my sister, oh, sorry, let me read your comment, Freddie. Let me put it up here for everyone. Hold on one second. Freddie always has good information, guys. He is a great source to ask questions like this. I'm trying to highlight your comment, Freddie, but I can't seem to do that. Here we go. Freddie said that he has done the show, and my sister is about to do a reality show, and that's how it works. So he's saying the contract should have been done prior. So then it must just be Bravo not wanting to bring her on. And like Catherine said, maybe it's because they're protecting Melissa. I mean, even a freaking phone call? Like, okay, Bravo, you didn't have the footage of Kathy Hilton. We had to eat that already. But now you got Marge's ex-best friend coming out with all this tea. And, we can't even see it, hear a phone call about it. I mean, I guess she's done a lot of podcasts, so it doesn't really matter at this point. I think Laura Lee has definitely gotten her, side of things out there. Don't you guys think? I mean, she's been on a lot of podcasts, not a lot of podcasts, but a couple of podcasts. I think she went on The Real Andy. So she has had an opportunity to at least speak her piece and her perspective, which is good because if not, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't have had any idea what was happening. Jennifer Aiden confirmed she has never filmed with Laura. Thank you. I did not know that. Laura explained it well. Thank you so much. I did not know that she confirmed that. So it must be protecting the Gorgas. Trying to get another season, trying to get those ratings one more time. Even though we heard that we had new producers and that's not what it was going to be this season. Andy doesn't favor her. He favors Joe. I agree 100%, Barbara. I think that it used to be before, the men had a contract. I think that pretty much they had Melissa on the show because they wanted Joe, not because they necessarily wanted her. And I think that if they could boot her and keep him, they would. But I think that Joe would never let that, he would walk. He would never let that. Allegedly, one of the producers that used to protect the Gorgas is no longer on Revolution. Thank you, Freddie. That's what we were hearing too. I don't know. But I think also if Bravo thinks they can get another year or more rate, Freddie, aren't they getting like the highest ratings right now in New Jersey that we've had in years and years and years? But I definitely think that they would boot Melissa and keep Joe if they could, but Joe would never, he would not like that. And I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm just over here with my opinion. I did want to tell you guys, they brought the Gorgas on and because Andy is obsessed with the family dynamic on the show. Did you guys see the clip I posted on my Instagram of Melissa doing like this fake Academy Award winning thing? I found this really, really old. Joe is cutting off his nose too. Yes, the ratings are at an all-time high. So it's possible, Freddie said the ratings are at an all-time high. It's possible that Bravo, they're not, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know because Teresa's so pissed too. She don't even want to film with them. But if they can keep the storyline going, even without them, I mean, I just can't even imagine. But I did want to share this with you guys because everyone talks about, well, the people that know Melissa. Hold on. Freddie says, I'm convinced that Danielle's sister-in-law will be brought onto the show because they don't get along. Oh, okay. Okay. So just playback, guys. Danielle has a brother that Danielle and her brother don't get along. Danielle blames it on the sister-in-law a little bit. She blames it on the fact that it's been 2 years that they haven't reconciled. She understands that the conflict, you know, was originally between her and her brother, but she feels like the sister-in-law disowned them from the wedding and haven't spoke to them. Yes, Freddie, it will be another Joe and Teresa story. And actually, it's sort of brilliant. The producers did this, and they're really giving Melissa kind of a free ticket here. Like, go film with her. The situation is mirroring your situation. Like, here you go. Make something happen, Melissa. Freddie says, that's exactly what I believe Andy Cohen's plan is to bring in Danielle's sister-in-law. It's very possible. I wonder, we have to do a little bit of research about her brother then. I wonder what her brother and sister-in-law are even like. I was thinking that Danielle was going to be Caroline's way back. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, hypothetically, even if they give Melissa the boot and left Joe on as like sort of the, you know, husbands of New Jersey, that's a big salary. If they got rid of Joe and Melissa both, that's a really big salary. I think they would possibly consider bringing Caroline back on. I almost think that. But then with everything that happened with Caroline and Brandy, from what I gather, the sister-in-law is just like Melissa. Oh, Barbara, really? Like she's already knock, knock, knock. Hi, Andy. Nice to meet you. I'm ready to be a housewife now. Carolina said she got asked as a friend, but said it was insulting. Then got offered full-time, but she wasn't. Josephine won't stay without Melissa. Caroline won't come back. I think with everything that happened with Brandy, I don't think so either. I think she definitely was willing before, because I think she went on the Jeff Lewis podcast and said like that she was willing to do it, and that she was just a high priced item. She knew Teresa was making good money, and she felt like she needed to be, you know, she needed to be paid. Reality tea with Krista, who I'm due to be on the phone with. My live ran over. I'm sorry, sissy. I'm wrapping it up. But she said she's going to find out all the information for us on Danielle and her brother and sister-in-law. So that's good. We'll get all that information for you guys for sure. Make sure you guys are following my Instagram, HW Historian. Let me just show you this quick video of Melissa pretending to win an Oscar. I've had a lot of exclusive stuff lately, so make sure you follow. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. I'll try with my iPad and see. Let me make sure my volume's up though. Oh, I hate these reels now that don't let you like take up the entire screen. It's so annoying. Anyways, it is probably like 2014. No, it's a little bit newer than that. I'm gonna tell you like probably 17, 15. And she's pretending to win an Oscar, so she like has the remote and she's holding it. I'm gonna play it for you guys though, just making my screen brighter for you. The audio, I guess, is probably what's most important, but I think that you will be able to get the full effect here. Oh no, what's going on?
I just want to thank the Academy. Thank you so much. I put so much time and effort into this film. And it just means the children. I love the three of you, Antonia, Gino, Joey. And to my amazing supporting husband, Joe. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you.
I mean, they said she's like the best liar. Everyone says she's the best liar. So, I mean, she was practicing for, this was in 2014, 2015. So she was practicing for her Oscar. Not her Grammy. Not her singing career. She was practicing for her Oscar. So, Danielle's brother is called Tommy DiPietro. Ooh la la, she's out of her mind. Hi, chat. I need to make one of them reels. Thank you. I love you all. Krista, I will be talking with you shortly. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on. I have some different uploads I'm going to be uploading. I just did one. Well, it's uploading on some blind items that are coming out. And talked a little bit about Potomac. Train wreck over there. Plus, we have the whole Vanderpump Rules craziness. I mean, it's been a lot in the content creator world. So make sure you're commenting, liking. It's a great way to support all of our pages and YouTube channels. And have an amazing day, guys. We'll talk soon. Bye. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Freddie. I appreciate when you come into my lives. You have great information, great insight. You are always welcome. Next time I'm going to drop the link because I really appreciate when we get to talk face to face, because Freddie has such good information that I like to just give him the platform a little bit and let him tell us, because it's great. So hopefully I can make that happen. Let me know. Bye, guys.